I didn't like it so much so that I actually gave it a 1 out of 5. Hey there, how you doing? Yeah, so because I just showed up from the blue and reviewed book 6 of the Chronicles of Narnia that nobody asked for, nobody cares for, I figured why not review book 7, because hey, we can. Also, because I have a lot of things that I want to say about this book. But I'll keep it short. I hope I'll be able to keep it short. So this is the last book in the 7 book series, Chronicles of Narnia. Yeah, it took me like a very long time to read this series actually. I think it's taken me a whole year to finish it. But I got to the end finally. So the last battle, where Narnia again follows Puzzle and Shift. If you're not familiar with the word of Narnia, Narnia has got a deity called Aslan, who comes in the form of a lion. He's their creator in a sense, supposed to mimic Jesus Christ in the Bible, God. So in here we have Puzzle, like I said, and Shift. Who Shift is an ape, Puzzle is a donkey. So these two kind of conjure up like a fake Aslan in Narnia. So Aslan hasn't been to Narnia for a very, very long time. Most of the time he shows up every time something's happening here and there, but it's been years and years and years, and nobody has seen Aslan in Narnia. So I guess in an effort to try and get more food, I don't know, I can't remember. But so Shift and Puzzle kind of come up with this sort of story of fake Aslan. The Narnians fall for it. Puzzle is really just a puppet in this. Puzzle being the donkey, that is. He's really just a puppet in this. I don't want to say he's innocent, but he's a puppet. And so that's pretty much the story. How do the Narnians respond? The king of Narnia obviously doesn't believe this. He's just like, there's no way that's Aslan. And something very, very significant, I think, that really helped the Narnians sort of buy into this fake Aslan is they kind of focus on one attribute of Aslan, right? So throughout the book, throughout the series, you kind of hear that Aslan is not a tame lion, right? Like you can't put him in a box, like and you can never really know how he shows up. It's really just up, how he best fits your situation, right? And so because of that, they excuse a lot of things that are not Aslan like, right? Because in their head they're like, oh, we can't fully understand him, he can do whatever, which is quite unfortunate. Like they're so focused on one particular attribute of Aslan that they don't think about the other attributes and whether those actions that this Aslan is doing fit into the other attributes or characteristics of Aslan. And so, like the title, eventually there's like some sort of last battle in a sense. Doesn't happen the way you think a battle normally happens in books like this, but it happens. And yeah, I guess I don't want to spoil this, but that's pretty much it. What does the king do? How do they defeat the fake Aslan? Do they defeat the fake Aslan? And when the real Aslan actually shows up, what happens? What does he do? And all of that. I think it's really supposed to depict like end times, like revelations, false prophets, false ideology. Yeah, basically I think that's what this book was really trying to pinpoint. My 2 cents on it, I didn't like it. I really didn't like this. This is my least favorite in the book. I didn't like it so much so that I actually gave it a 1 out of 5. Like, no, okay, I initially gave it a 1 out of 5, but because of the lessons in here, they're so potent and so real time. Like for every scene that happens in this book, I can pinpoint it in this particular day and time. It's very relevant, so I gave it a 3 out of 5. But I did not enjoy it, like to the point where when I think after I read chapter 10, I said, I'm not gonna finish this book. I'm really not gonna finish this book, so let me listen to it. I got the audio version, and I finished the last 4 or 5 chapters. I'm listening to them instead of reading them. So it really just wasn't an enjoyable read. I know lots of people, I've seen some of the reviews say something about how they feel like it's racist, and I really just don't. I don't know. Maybe there is some elements of it maybe that could come off racist if you want to think about it like that. I didn't really think about it like that. I just didn't like the way this story just unfolded. I just didn't enjoy it. While the lessons again are great, I didn't enjoy my reading experience with this book. Really didn't. And then there's something like, I think at the end there's a character who follows. There's another fake god in here. Or, not a fake god, but yeah, I guess a fake god, like a small god, like an idol called Tash that the other people kind of follow. There's a character in there who follows Tash like religiously and all of that, and he ends up getting saved. And I was a bit like, nah, I don't know. What I know is that Jesus is the way. So maybe I missed his point there, but I kind of felt like he was trying to sort of say, as long as you're faithful and diligent and your heart is like set in the right place and you pursue this God, you still get saved. And I was just like, I don't know. Again, maybe I missed the point that Lewis was trying to communicate with that particular character. And again, this is like what, one page in the book, but it stood out for me because I'm like, what is he trying to say? I don't agree with this. You should pursue Aslan and Aslan only. Anything else is not going to get you to heaven, right? Ideally, that's the idea if we're going to go by biblical standards. But again, maybe I missed his point, and maybe there's something that I don't really understand. I'm not a Bible scholar or anything like that. I would recommend it just for the lessons, but especially for a kid, I think, because it's a children's book, I think it really does to sort of teach how you can fall into deception and how it can completely blind you if you don't really think through. I think belief is an intellectual exercise, much as it's very, in a sense, requires faith or blind faith. There's a lot of intellectualism as you have to think about what you believe and you have to be able to understand and defend it. So it's not really just, oh, I'm gonna follow. You need to think through, ask the right questions. So some books are, like, for me, I didn't enjoy it, but I'm not saying it's not a good book. I'm not saying it's a good book. It's not a good book. I just didn't enjoy it. So that's C.S. Lewis. And the last part, also, other books that most of the covers I've seen of this book have a unicorn on the cover. It's a scam. It's really a scam. Like, I'm not saying there's no unicorns in here, but it's not the way it's not like that. Whatever you're thinking about this unicorn and how it plays with the title of the last battle, it's not like that. It's like To Kill a Mockingbird. There's nothing in there but killing Mockingbird. So in here, I feel like they should stop putting the unicorn on the cover. He's not that big of a deal in the book, really. He really isn't. The book could have carried on without the unicorn in the book, literally. It could have played out exactly the same if they replaced the unicorn with something else. So yeah, anyways, I've spoken longer than I intended to. Thank you for watching my book rant or not. If you stayed up to the end. Yeah, bye.